Hey everyone, this is Rob over here at Bunebape and hope you're having an amazing day. So today I wanted to bring you all another old school video, and this time it's going to be on Leagues 3. So Leagues is just right around the corner, only a day from now, and I'm getting pretty excited. But while I have my plans and ideas, I know a lot of people are still on the fence or don't really know if they want to participate or not. So in this video, I'm going to be coming out with a guide telling you everything you need to know about Leagues, what's going to be going on, the premise of it, how to improve your character and your power, and actually finally give you some tips on a couple different paths you can take if you want to attack Leagues in a few different ways, whether you want to be more active, go for a lot higher of a league score, or just play a little more passively depending on your goals. That's what it's all about. There's going to be quite a few different ways to play out this league. If you played RuneScape, you know it's all up to you on how it actually works out. So I'm going to hopefully give you some tips, give you a direction to point yourself into if this is your first league, and hopefully that'll help you out. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Alright, so we're going to start off by telling you a little bit about leagues in general. So as far as experience goes in this league, you are going to be getting a minimum of 5 times experience. So expect to see some really big XP drops in this league. And this is a great opportunity for anyone that has been looking to get into very high level content. If you are looking to get some max combat and go out and try some new stuff that you don't really have access to on your main account, then this is going to be a great no-cost entry for you to try that stuff out. On top of that, you are going to get rewards at the end of this league. So while playing the league, you get reward points. You can get this from a wide variety of things in the game, from fishing to skilling to bossing, and all of these are going to accumulate, and you're going to be able to spend these points on items at the end of the league. Some of them are really great and are some of the main incentives for me to play this league. And that's going to be anything from skins for your cannon, skins for your void armor, and if you do well enough, you can even get trophies to show off how well you did in the league, all the way up to a dragon. So on top of that, what's really great about this league is you are also going to get access to the entire map. In leagues past, you were limited and had to choose which areas you wanted to play in, but this time around, while you are going to have access to the entire map, you are still going to have to unlock different areas and different activities with these things called Sage Renown points. I'll go into that a little bit later, but just know that you are going to have access to the whole map this time around, which is some nice news. And one last thing before we wrap up the basics of the league, if I had to give any newcomer one tip, it's to have certain expectations. I think it's really easy to get enveloped in a league because there is so much to do as a brand new Iron Man account, and especially looking at all the really pretty numbers just fly up way faster than they normally would. It's really easy to want more, but I would really say set standards and go in with expectations, because if you are looking to just have some fun, maybe claim some rewards, then that's all you should really expect, and try not to be down on yourself if you don't get to a certain level, such as Adamant, Rune, or Dragon. And if you are just trying to have fun with friends or trying out a couple new bosses that you've never had the opportunity for, then I think that is also just as valid and a really great way to play the league. So make sure that you just are having fun with it and doing stuff that you would want to do. I know some people get really burnt out on leagues because there is so much to do, and it is fun in the time being, but hopefully you don't go too hard that you end up quitting the main game. So with that being said, we can go over some of the first stuff that you should know about the league. So the premise of this league is based on the Sage. So the Sage is someone that we've known in leagues past, and they're the one that actually gave us relics. And for some reason, the Sage is upset and decided to shatter and break all of the relics, hence the name of the league, Shattered Relics, and scatter them throughout Gilnor. So you're going to find these fragmented pieces of these relics all throughout Gilnor, doing a wide variety of tasks such as fishing, to bossing, to any skills for stuff as little as fletching a single bow or arrow, all the way up to killing necks. So of course they are going to reward a different variety of points based on what you are doing, but just so you know, that's how you get them, and that's the entire premise of this league. And speaking of variety, there are going to be a wide variety of powers for these fragments, all the way from giving you a little bit extra gold, maybe a little bit more experience, all the way up to game-changing combat abilities. A lot of them have not been revealed yet, but there are tons of them, and you are going to be able to stack and use them, and even activate set effects if you use multiple of the similar ones. On top of that, there are going to be additional ways to teleport around during the league. These are going to be called waystones, and once you unlock them, they'll give you free access to a ton of different places throughout Gilnor, making your adventures here much easier to handle. Now, I know I have mentioned unlocking things quite a few times, so let's roll right into that and talk about how that is going to work. So whenever you do start the league, you're going to start out in Catherby. After you're done talking to the sage and getting your intro done, you're going to start off with 3 skills. So it's going to be defense, fishing, thieving, and a combat skill of your choice, whether that be strength, attack, mage, or range. Once you do select one of those, you are going to be given a fragment for the respective one and some starter items. This is going to be your starting place, and you can go anywhere from here. You're an Iron Man, so there's no trading, although you can play with other people if you want to, but you can't trade them, so make sure to keep that in mind whenever you do go to boss together. On top of that, you can unlock skills right away. So you get these points, like I said, from a wide variety of things. League points and Sage Renown are going to be the 2 different points in this league. The league points you are going to save up and build up to either get into higher tiers at the end of the league, being Adamant, Dragon, or Rune. And you can also use those league points at the end to spend them on the rewards we talked about before. The other currency, which is Sage Renown, is going to be earned in an extremely similar, if not just exactly the same way. By doing a wide variety of these tasks that he's assigned you all throughout Gilnor, you are going to be rewarded these points, which allows you to unlock not just more skills, but also new areas, bosses, or even automatically completing quests. For anyone wondering, it is going to be a system where, for instance, if you did want to unlock Vorkath, the boss, you either are going to have to do the quest or have it auto-completed by paying for it with points, and then you are also going to have to pay to unlock the boss. So for things that are locked behind certain quests or content like that, it is going to cost you double than it normally would. And depending on the content, the cost is going to go up. For instance, if you do want to unlock something like fletching, it's not going to cost you nearly as much as if you wanted to unlock Theater of Blood. So it's going to have a ton of different ways to play out the game. Like I said, whether you want to go into combat, if that's something you're really interested in. Like I said, this is a great opportunity to flex your combat muscle if you don't have the funding or just don't have the time to really spend on getting max combat and max melee in order to try out some really fun bosses or do some raids. So with that in mind, I've actually come up with a couple different paths or options for players to hopefully give themselves some direction to follow whenever they do go into the league. Now, of course, this is all going to be just suggestions and just some tips that I'm going to throw your way. You can totally change it up and it'll likely not be the same for any one player, especially because fragments are totally going to change your gameplay depending on which ones you get. For instance, if you are going down the more active and combat focused path, but happen to get this really great agility fragment that they showcased, then this might be one of your best, if not just straight up by far your best way in order to get more money. If that being said, if that does happen, then it might be a great opportunity to take a break from combat and go do some agility, bank up some money, and get yourself a Dragon Scimitar. That's just one option, and how your gameplay is totally going to change depend on what you're doing and what you end up getting for fragments. As for any other questions that I might not answer or forget to mention, make sure to leave them down in the comments below, as I will go and try to answer them as best I can. But just so you know, we don't have all the information for leagues as of now until they actually come out. Now, as far as these 2 paths go, we'll start with the more active path. So it's going to be separated into the more active and the more passive path. Now, it's definitely not one is better than the other. It's totally different play styles. And for anyone wondering, I am going to be playing the more passive and skill focused path. So like I said in the beginning, this all really depends on what your goal is for the league and what you plan on doing, because it doesn't really matter how you start. I'm just giving you 2 different paths so you have an idea of what to focus on, some stuff you should look out for whenever you first start playing. Also, disclaimer, I'm not an expert or anything like that, so this is just some suggestions that I've found while playing my Iron Man. So as far as the active path goes, we have a few things. We're going to take a look at some unlocks, quests, and items that you should probably look out for. And the first thing is to unlock all of your melee combat, as well as one of the range combats, being either range itself or mage. This is going to help a lot when any tasks or any bosses that you need to safe spot that you come across. It's going to be a great option. I think mage is going to be what you want to go for, because I do think it is stronger early on and is going to help at bosses sooner. The next thing is going to be herb lore. This is going to help you a lot in acquiring a lot of really good potions, such as prayer potions, which is great for all bosses, super restorers, as well as the Saradomans, or any of your super combats. But of course, that is a much higher level, but prayer pots, first off, are going to be your main priority. So of course, the final thing on here is going to be Slayer. I had to throw it in here on the more combat focused path. This is going to allow you to unlock some of the really end-game bosses, and it's going to allow you to upgrade and level up your melee and other combats in general just by doing Slayer. This is also a great opportunity for you to get more points, unlock prayer, and get that rolling as well, because like I said, praying overheads is going to be very, very important if you are going down and focusing on this path. Some quests to look out for is going to be the Waterfall quest. This is a very well-known quest, and if you do it in the league, because you are getting 5 times experience, you're going to get from level 1 to nearly 50 in one quest, so that's huge. And so, of course, as well for Witch's House, this is going to be pretty similar to Waterfall quest, where it's going to get you from 10 health all the way up to nearly 50 again in one shot. Just make sure you do have something in order to do the combat. If you've seen my Iron Man series, the little experiments that change into the wolf and the bear can really mess you up if you don't have enough combat going into it. So I'd probably do the Waterfall quest first, and then maybe Witch's House, or just do some combat before you do either and make it a breeze. Once your combat is up to par, or if you actually have enough points, which is probably what I would recommend, you can go ahead and either do or unlock Monkey Madness 1. If you end up doing it, it's going to be a really great source of experience, not just for your combat skills, but it's also going to unlock the Dragon Scimitar. So that's going to be a huge unlock. Whether you do it or not, you're still going to get the Dragon Scimitar unlocked. So make sure you have some money, go do some thieving, and get yourself one of the better melee weapons to start off with. So as far as the items you need to unlock, of course, prayer potions on there. Like I said, prayer is going to be huge for a ton of bosses, especially if you are trying to move up and do some barrows even. That's going to be some great starter gear, so prayer potions are definitely recommended for that. So I'd recommend getting that as soon as possible, which is why I said look out for herb lore. And just like I mentioned a second ago, Dragon Scimitar, probably one of the best items that you can get early game. It's going to be your main melee weapon for quite some time. And then the final item is going to be Ivan's Staff. What's great about this is you don't actually have to do Underground Pass, thank goodness. That is such a long quest. You can actually just finish it with the points, unlock it, and you'll have access to the Ivan's Staff, which you can go down and upgrade if you so choose. So those are some things and some items I think you should look out for early on. Let us know down below if you have any other stuff that you think in your experience. If you are an experienced Iron Man or just have anything that you think I missed, let me know down in the comments below, as I think that would help out other people that are also embarking on this journey. And so now that is over with, we can take a look at the more passive path. Like I said, this is going to be the one that I chose. And like I said, it's going to be the same end point, but it's just a different beginning. So I'm going to be focusing more on things that you can do casually and slowly while doing other stuff, because I do have quite a few other things going on in my life. So I think this is a great way to start this out. So it's going to be farming, woodcutting, herb lore, and fletching. So these are all things that are relatively AFK or just low effort, especially woodcutting. So what's nice is while you are going to be getting up farming, woodcutting, and herb lore and fletching, you are going to be getting a lot of really needed resources. So farming is going to get you a lot of the items you need for potions. Woodcutting is going to help you with fletching, which is going to help you get your range up really fast and unlock broad bolts sooner. And also herb lore, of course, for the same reason that we unlocked it on the active path, as it's just very good, especially early on, bossing. As far as quests go, you don't really need any quests on this path, which does make it much nicer. But if you wanted to, you could unlock Barbarian Fishing if you wanted a more AFK and fast fishing method, then you can try this out. Or you can also go and unlock the Feud quest or do it yourself. Both of these quests are very, very fast and easy. What's interesting about the Feud quest is you can safe spot the enemies in there, so it's nothing to be worried about. And that unlocks Ali Morrison, which is a great source of early runes. Early runes is going to be one of the more difficult things to get if you are going to be mage focused. So you can take this advice and take it over to the active path as well if you are going to be casting a lot. And to finish off the quest, we also have Witch's House here. So to finish it out, of course, while this is the not as active or not as combat oriented path, we do have Witch's House here because sooner or later you are going to be going and doing some combat unless you are a skiller. And so I have Witch's House on here, which is going to give you a huge health boost, which is going to be great, like I said, for any early mobs you might run into. As far as some items to look out for, honestly, there's not a ton here. You are going to be looking for Renar seeds or maybe even a herb pouch or a seed box if you end up getting your Hosidius favor up for that. And of course, like I said, broad bolts. So while we aren't focusing strictly on Slayer right away, we are getting up our fletching, which is one of the components that you're going to need in order to use broad bolts. And so that's going to be a great advantage whenever you do get around to Slayer. And of course, the Rune Axe, which is going to be a pretty easy unlock if you do just get Fairy Tale Part 1 knocked out, maybe unlock it, start Fairy Tale 2, and then you should be able to teleport over and start doing some combat to get your Rune Axe from the spirit trees pretty easily. So this is going to be a great unlock, help you with the wood cutting, and also be a great thing to alch early on if you need some money. So that's going to be about it for all of the things I wanted to include in this video. There is a ton of stuff that I didn't include because there's just so much to go over, but also so much that we don't know. So I'm really looking forward to getting into it. If there are any questions or stuff that you think I might have included, or should have included rather, then make sure to throw them down below, as I would really like to know. And like I said, it does help out everyone else that watches this video. So thanks again for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon.